Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Thursday the 5th of August 2021. So viewers, you know I always tell you, once you're locked on to Synergy Television from 7 to 8 p.m., Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember, I always encourage you also, while you're looking at us live, go onto your Facebook account on your phone and share our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Just share it to the 5,000 contacts that you have on your Facebook account. And then encourage them also to share it also. And those of you on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube as yet, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. So viewers, those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. You know a family member, you know a friend, they're having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. Those of you who have property to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also contact me. And if you lend your friend and your family your hard-earned cash and you cannot get it back, feel free to contact Real Talk, that collection department. Now viewers, share our live stream. Share our live stream. I encourage you every single night to share it. Let Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean, around the world, let people know of the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. And where do you get it? Live on Synergy TV from 7 to 8 p.m. So just a reminder to, you're looking for the correct investment to make. You want an investment that you would reap a proper reward at the end of 12 months, or at the end of 2 years, or at the end of 3 years. Real Talk Group of Companies is offered to you, the public. Real Talk Investment. We are presently paying between 3 to 3.5% on a return on your investment. So viewers, it is the highest percentage return on any investment that you can make in any institute, financial institute. We are currently topping every single one presently. So like I said, to the first 200 individuals who open a Real Talk investment, you're getting between 3% to 3.5% on a return on your investment. Now, your investment have to be a Real Talk investment to get that type of return. So we will talk more about it as our show goes on tonight. Trinidad and Tobago have received 82,030 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine from Canada. The shipment arrived at 3:33 p.m. today. CARICOM and Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown made the announcement. The dose were donated as part of Canada's commitment to doing its part to support equitable access to safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine around the world. These donations to TNT was through bilateral agreement. You know, they always have the big words, you know. They always have the big word, the big words. Bilateral. Why they just can't say a simple negotiation between two countries? But they had to use their big words. But nevertheless, the government of TNT will now manage the administration of the vaccine in accordance with manufacturing guidelines and public health best practice. So viewers, 82,000 doses of AstraZeneca in TNT as of this afternoon. So let's hear what they are going to do with it now. Hopefully we can come and they might keep our medical media briefing, or maybe tomorrow. So let's just wait and see how they are going to distribute it. If the secondary school students will get it, if the elderly will get it, if children will get it. So let's just wait and see their next step. Remember, you can call in 238-6716, voice your concerns, voice your opinion. Moving along now, Health Minister Terence Dayal Singh have sounded another alarm bell over the slow rate of COVID-19 vaccination in Trinidad and Tobago. You're sounding an alarm bell. Why are you sounding an alarm bell? You were the same minister who came out on a media briefing and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that the average citizens don't even know how to wear a mask. You are the same minister that came out in a briefing and tell the public you could wrap a whole cloth around your mouth. You are the same minister who come out and tell the people the coronavirus is like a fax machine in your body. Now you're sounding an alarm bell with the slow rate of people taking the COVID-19 vaccine. Let me tell all you something. When you want people to believe in all you have to be straight. You have to be transparent. You have to have your facts. You have to stand up like a man. Now we're worried about the slow rate. Let me tell all you something. No, it's not the 1940s when you have to listen to a radio to hear what's going on. And you can't see it on television. There is something they call internet. There is something they call social media platform. What happened on the other half of the world? We getting it in Trinidad here within an hour or so. People listening. They're looking on. They're paying attention. And when they have people like me on the set bringing the real thing to you and not no cover-up thing under no carpet, it's a different story. Bacchanal Thursday tonight. No. He said, internationally, people between the ages of 20 and 40 who feel they are invincible and now paying a heavy price because of the Delta variant. You see, that is a different variant. Let me tell you something. I can't come and twist nothing while side have you show on TV, you know. I'm telling all you as it is. That is a different variant of what we have in Trinidad. Don't try to twist the story and ball between 20 and 40 now paying the price. It's a different variant. It's no nonsense you're coming with here. So what you're trying to say? What you're trying to say is the same thing? How it could be the same thing when it's a different variant? The minister is also warning that dark days will come if persons are not protected, especially within the inevitable arrival of the Delta variant when it's here. The article further expressed concerns against vaccine hesitance and stated that if you combine that with the soon discovery of the Delta variant, there will be devastating consequences for the countries and the healthcare system. So let me ask you something. We're in 2021. When we was in 2020 and we didn't have no vaccine, what I was doing? What all I was doing? What all I was doing? All I was quarantining people home. When I was spending millions of dollars. And oh, by the way, when you quarantine the individuals in quarantine facilities, what are you giving them to use? What medication are you giving them to use? All talk now. Call her good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
My friend, go right ahead.
Here's something, right? I'll get on back with this topic. The Prime Minister said that you don't want no congregation in bars, right? You don't want bar service. But what about the people he opened up the beaches for? What about the 50,000 people that you say go to Tobago for the weekend? How is that compared to a bar that's a rum shop then? That's only holding about 20 people plus.
Correct.
20 people, right? And them big clubs in town, they're only holding about 75 to 80 people because of the fire. How is that compared to 50,000 people going to Tobago and the beaches and the market and the bank? People at the bank, I go to the bank and line up and everybody goes still 6 feet apart. There's big congregation and talking to people. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, they want to talk about Delta variant. They cannot manage the COVID-19 presently in Trinidad and Tobago. But you want to call wolf now when the variant reached Trinidad. You want to quote something from outside in other countries? Let me tell you something. Quote something from Trinidad. Quote something from Trinidad and not outside Trinidad. You're not managing outside Trinidad. You're managing Trinidad. You want to compare 30 million people to 1.3 million people? Come now, man. Where you living? Where you living? So now, switching gears a bit now. What started as an initiative to provide food to vulnerable families during the COVID-19 pandemic could become a permanent part of relief offered to persons in need. This after Minister of Agriculture Clarence Rambarat announced that the success of NAMDEVCO Market Food Box Initiative. Rambarat said, when the initiative began 5 months ago, the objective was to provide food packages to 125,000 families. We crossed 100,000 families in the third month. NAMDEVCO also reported that to date, it has delivered 75,000 food boxes under the government COVID-19 relief and the food support program, which commenced on May 7th, 2021. Also for July, an additional 9,000 families through the local government councillors have received 20,000 soup pack and 20,000 chicken. So we took the initiative tonight. We took the opportunity to get in touch with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Clarence Rambarat. So we have presently on the line the Minister of Agriculture. Good night to you, sir.
Hi, good night, Saieed, and good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, just a few questions just to enlighten the public. How much food basket have the government given out thus far?
Okay, so the program started, the delivery started on May 7th, 2021. Initially, it was going to go until the end of May, and we promised 25,000 families will benefit. And then it was extended to May, June, July. Then it was extended to May, June, July, August, September. And the plan was in those 5 months, by the end of September 2021, we will deliver to 125,000 families. I'm happy to say that we've exceeded that. We've gone past 105,000. We're now into 4th month. But at the end of the 3rd month, we had gone past 105,000. And we did that by the 75,000 for those 3 months via the members of parliament. And we also introduced a distribution via the councillors.
Yes.
And in the month of May, June, and July, the councillors were able to deliver to just under 30,000 families.
Okay, well done.
We above what we planned, and I expect, as I said in the Parliament during the debate on the media review, I expect that while we set out to do 125, we will end up somewhere around 165,000 families.
Thus far, that is very good. Now, how many farmers, Mr. Minister, have benefited from this initiative?
We started off last year when we did this program, we had 72 farmers.
Yes.
We've gone past 250 farmers supplying.
Wow.
And those farmers, over the 3 months in total, would have earned themselves about just over $20 million.
Wow.
There are farmers in there who were excellent farmers, consistent suppliers. Some of them have earned maybe about 500,000.
Okay.
And on average, people have earned 25,000, $1,000 on the lower end. But the farmers have been very happy.
Yes, yes.
Arrangements require us to pay within 21 days. We've been doing that. From time to time, as I said before on your program,
yes,
people may have little issues with the payment.
Yes, yes.
We'll sort that out, but by and large, the farmers are extremely happy.
Well then, I'm glad to hear that. Now, Mr. Minister, you did mention, right, that the food box program continued after the pandemic. Now, could you give us a time frame of how far in the year it would continue and at an approximate figure it would cost?
What I could tell you, there are two things I can't tell you now, but I'll tell you this. Cabinet has decided, the intention has always been that among the benefits people can access via the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services,
yes,
would be this food box. Recognizing that some families are particularly vulnerable, and we would like them to have the assurance of a monthly supply of fresh fruit, vegetables, and wherever possible, protein in the form of local chicken. So Cabinet had approved the inclusion of this type of benefit amongst the social services benefits. The number will be determined by the Ministry of Social Development. They will work out that from their client group. The cost will be determined on the basis of the number. But the inclusion of a benefit like this has already been approved by Cabinet as part of as a permanent part of what is available through the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services.
Mr. Minister, I do want to thank you, and I know as soon as something new comes out, we will keep in touch with you to inform the public what is taking place.
Thank you very much, Saeed. Have a good weekend.
You too, my friend. Be safe, you and the family. So viewers, that was an update from the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Clarence Rambarat, concerning the food initiative program that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago presently. You know, sometimes people would say, Saeed, you know, you're bashing ministers and you're lighting them up. It's not a matter of bashing and lighting up. I want you all to understand something. It's not a matter of bashing the government. It's not a matter of bashing the ministers. You see, they have a portfolio to do. They have a portfolio to work with. And I will try my best to keep in touch with them. And let the nations know what they are doing, what they are going to do, what do they have in plan, how much it will cost. You understand? So this is why we bring this to you. So now viewers, we're switching across now. President of the Supermarket Association, Mr. Rajiv Dipti, and economist, Dr. Valmakim, hope I pronounce it correct, Arjun, have stated that there should be a discussion about how to strengthen deficiencies in local food production and distribution right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now that have been exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Referring to concerns raised by his predecessors, Balaram Maharaj, on Wednesday about the pandemic fueling higher food prices. Mr. Dipti said, it is quite comprehensive and speaks to the facts. Now, Dipti suggested that they need to be hard looked at where import substitution can have a positive erosion on the net food import bill. So we also took the opportunity tonight to contact Mr. Rajiv Dipti, who is presently the president of the Supermarket Association in Trinidad and Tobago. Good night, my friend.
Good night, Saeed. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. I see you have quite the cast tonight, my friend.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, I'm always up to date. I'm always keeping the public on top of everything.
Tremendous job as always.
Now, do you think that there would be soon be an increase in food price, and what may lead to it?
Well, let's cut straight into the nitty-gritty side. It's a very concerning, very worrying time with a lot of trends that are disturbing, developing around the world. One of the biggest culprits that we've seen so far are the cost of containers. As reported today, we've noticed that container costs have gone up 500% since the start of COVID. And it's a very disrupted, undersupplied market where containers now have skyrocketed to almost as much as $20,000 US a container. Compare this with $11,000 as of July 11th and compare this with $5,000 US pre-COVID. So we're seeing a situation right now that has a lot of artificial, built into it with the resilience of markets that are reopening, with China also backstocking. It's a very global situation, Saieed. From Trinidad and Tobago's perspective, how do we deal with this? We have challenges to US dollars, with access to US dollars. We have COVID-19, which is not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's creating strains.
True.
We're working with the major players. The major players that are in this picture would be those importers and distributors handling the containers, the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Customs and Excise, the Ministry of Trade, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture. When we look at a support strategy to try to get to the crux of that import substitution conversation that we keep talking about, because certainly the demand and supply situation cannot continue as Trinidadians are not earning any more as they were before, and certainly their trends and their tastes are shifting for cheaper alternatives. Now, what we're seeing with our stores is that they are the end users from the supply side. We try to put things out that will move, that we're letting our suppliers know what is working, what isn't working. We're having conversations, but there's no way we can work to control the cost. I think what we're looking at right side is something of a holistic fix, something that has always been talked about, something that we're really pushing the needle towards. We know what the problems are. We know that the major items affected: oil, meat, poultry, beans, it's cheese, dairy and dairy products. There's going to be challenges, but what the consumers can bank on is that all the stores are competing for the same dollar of every pocket. So there will be a lot of deals, and there will be a lot of different brands and different items carried across many stores, because we're seeing a change in and shift in trends. So as we continue to deal with this situation, which is probably the worst it's ever been, it's something that will continue with conversations with trade and industry, with agriculture, and also with our peers at Customs and Excise.
Now, Mr. Dipti, could you give us I wouldn't say a price structure, but could you give us an idea of some of the stuff in the market that would go up?
Well, you see, the thing about it is you look to what the major players in the market. And when you look at the major players, you're looking at China and the United States, the European Union, India. A lot of them are competing for the same core products, and that's oil, commodities. Commodities could be grains, which are major inputs into the production of several things. For example, corn produces high fructose corn syrup, and high fructose corn syrup goes into the production of ketchup. So you're looking at a lot of things that are used, because remember, we still import the inputs for production locally. So if those things are affected, you're going to see jumps in prices. When we look at the backstocking that is taking place, creating artificial inflation into the markups, we have to remember that when the price goes up on an international scale, the importers and the distributors and suppliers of those goods buy it from the middleman abroad, and they become the middleman, adding a markup, which is then passed on to the end user, the store, which themselves mark up the goods. So the goods are marked up from the point of origin by as much as, depending on the demand and supply, as we saw with oil and commodities right now. Some of them have gone up by as much as 200%. And when you look at what container costs, which is really one of the key culprits here again, when you look at what container cost is doing to that, it's creating a situation that could only be fixed when the COVID-19 situation allows, because there are very strict health protocols across ports around the world.
Yes.
So it's created a situation where a container coming back is in high demand for across the globe. In some cases, you can't get containers, and the thing is, it's a global phenomenon. So it's really something that we need to discuss. And when we talk about import substitution, we're not just talking about produce. We're talking about the demand for a lot of different goods where processing can take place, where we treat with the whole manufacturing chain and not just a segment of it. So it's becoming a conversation of synergy, really, to see what could be done. And again, there's not a lot that can be done in a knee-jerk situation that looks like it's going to be going on for some time.
I understand. Wow, let's just hope something works out and the price remain, at least, the poor man will be able to survive at least. Now,
well, we're really shopping around for the alternative goods. So I think they're going to see a lot of deals, but we're really trying our best. Again, it's a very fluid situation, Saeed.
I understand. Now, could you give us an update on the vaccination drive at the Diwali Nagar?
So, as you know, Center Point Mall closed its doors,
Yes.
I think it was the Friday before that. But we would have done close to 50,000 vaccinations. And I believe that we're somewhere, so on a national level, vaccinations have been slowing down. So because there are a lot of vaccination sites, vaccine hesitancy has considerably kicked in. Where we would have seen in the very early days, if you recall, Saeed, we were doing something like about 2,500 persons per day at Center Point Mall and at the Nagar simultaneously. So what we're seeing now is a considerable drop-off from those numbers. I remember talking to the team at the Nagar, and they had under 500 persons in one day, which was abysmal. We put that down to not just the luxury of many vaccination sites, along with the policy now that is being rolled out by the ministry, which is you can walk in and get your jab anywhere.
Yes.
And you need to present it in your form of ID. So what we're seeing right now, it's a massive drop-off at all the mass sites. The mass sites would be Napa, Sapa, Nagar, well, like what really constitutes a mass site. But we really are trying our best. We've also seen that AstraZeneca is now back in the mix.
Yes.
And it's something that I believe will be on offer. So I think that I'm not sure, but I believe there will be the opportunity of choice. But I mean, right now, I think that a lot more needs to be done with the vaccination conversation, the education conversation, especially when you consider that we're in August already and we're talking about back to school for kids. And why I say that is because we as stores tried to plan for the back to school sale. Is it happening? Is it not happening? If I'm a bookkeeper, bookshop person, why invest in more stationery in anticipation of it? So there are conversations, thoughts to be had from a business point of view. Well, none of our kids are vaccinated. What's going to happen? Especially when I saw just an hour ago that tensions erupted in St. Vincent over vaccine protests, and I believe the Prime Minister himself was injured.
Yes. So
we're seeing real tensions boiling with regards to the mandatory aspect of the legality, the legislativeness of what's happening. But certainly, Saeed, this people have to take this vaccine if they want something as simple as food prices to be on the positive net side.
Now, we did hear the Prime Minister saying that when they got the vaccine from Canada, that would be the AstraZeneca, that they would introduce it to the secondary school students so that they would be able to open the secondary schools. Now, do you have an idea of where the vaccination site would be? I don't know if you have any info, I'm just asking.
Okay, so from my understanding, and I'm not sure if the Prime Minister addressed that, the only vaccine that is that is eligible for children, for all persons under the age of 18, is the Pfizer vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine is, according to my information, is the only vaccine that is eligible for all children under the age of 18. So we have about 1 million adults who are eligible to take the vaccine. Well, I think if we look at Trinidad and Tobago as a population of 1.5 million, we have to look at 500,000 persons, those being under the age of 18 and those exempt vulnerable populations who do not qualify for vaccination. So when we look at the vaccine hesitancy ratios of the actual eligible population, we're looking at the million. We're looking at the million that is actually eligible for the Sinopharm or the AstraZeneca. So when we look at that now, it gives us a real idea of what the hesitancy among adults or among those eligible to take it. So if we're hitting close to 400,000 fully vaccinated in the next 3 weeks, we're pretty much in line with international trends of 45 to 50% fully vaccinated and among the adult population. But where the children are concerned, there's no Pfizer in this country for them, not to my knowledge.
No, I must correct myself there. It's the Pfizer vaccine and not the AstraZeneca vaccine. I do apologize.
Sure. No, but it's an honest mistake. But the reality is that there's nothing for those children as yet. And remember that the children themselves will be vectors of the virus. And we're seeing tutor pushing back against vaccination. So there needs to be a lead policy coming out of the government, certainly as brave as they've been in St. Vincent, Antigua, Grenada, and Guyana, where we've seen lead policies being adopted. We need to see some of that now because it needs to give a sense of certainty, especially as we anticipate the opening of the retail sector and we anticipate getting back out there again against the vaccinate to operate premise that is being pushed.
Now, Mr. Rajiv, I do want to thank you for taking the time out to talk with us tonight and to enlighten us with the supermarket business and the vaccination side. So I do want to thank you, my friend. Any updates, I will be the first one to call you.
You're most welcome, Saieed, and a blessed good night to Trinidad and Tobago. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you, my friend. You and the family be safe. So, viewers, you heard it. We had two prominent individuals giving us updates on what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago in the agriculture sector, the supermarket with the prices, and the vaccinations that is taking place presently. So, moving along now, all unvaccinated staff at private hospitals across Trinidad and Tobago will soon be required to provide weekly PCR tests. We're going to have a problem now. We are going to have a problem now. You know why I am saying that? Does the staff at these hospitals, the unvaccinated staff, do they have the salary means to do a PCR test every week? That is one problem. A joint statement said private hospitals are aiming to have all staff vaccinated by September 1st, 2021. Caller, good night.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, my dear. You're live on Real Talk.
Hi, I am a Canadian citizen.
Nice to have you on the show. Go right ahead.
My whole family is we are all Canadians.
Okay.
And we are having problems to have the correct vaccine to go back to Canada.
Okay, so you are presently in Trinidad?
Yes, we are living in Trinidad, but we are moving back to Canada.
Okay.
And we cannot get the correct vaccine for us to go back to Canada. So I am calling to find out if you can give me any information regarding the vaccines that came in from Canada today.
The vaccine that came in from Canada is 82,000 doses of AstraZeneca.
Yes, that's what I heard, but
yes.
I don't know where to go and find it or, any information.
All right, here what to do. Take my number.
Okay.
339-1670.
1670.
Yes. Call me tomorrow. We will have a discussion, and I will get in touch with Mr. Rajiv Dipti, and we will find out how we can get you vaccinated so you and your family could go back to Canada.
I should let you know, my husband and myself, we are over 60.
Wow.
We did get vaccinated before, you know, in the earlies. But I have a son that is 24. And that is why I am calling. He cannot get the vaccine nowhere.
I understand. Call me tomorrow. We will have a discussion, and I will do some looking around and see what we can do for you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Not a problem, my dear. So viewers, back to the hospital. A joint statement said private hospitals are aiming to have all staff vaccinated by September 1st, 2021. The statement added that while we respect each person's right to make a decision regarding one's own health choice, we have all agreed that all unvaccinated employees without medical support evidence of an exemption will be required to submit weekly PCR COVID-19 testing results. So where is that going to lead us? That is going to lead us now with healthcare workers who work at private hospitals that don't have the means to produce a PCR test weekly, meaning they will be home without a job. When the health sector starts crumbling, what is going to happen? Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
I want to know something. Is the whole police force vaccinated?
Well, boy, I'm still waiting for answers on that.
Because if I get pulled over in a traffic thing there, and they didn't get vaccinated, they have to show me proof that they get vaccinated, because if they don't have it, there's something wrong.
I understand.
So how they should make sure all the police officers get them vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Well said. A 63-year-old Moruga man was remanded into custody after appearing virtually in court on Tuesday, charged with sexually touching of a 14-year-old boy. According to the police report, officers arrested and charged the Moruga man the same day. Police said the incident allegedly occurred on an unknown date in December 2019. When the 14-year-old boy was at the home of the accused, who is a close family friend, when the 63-year-old man allegedly touched him inappropriately. A report was made to the Princeton Police Station on May 10, 2020. The accused is due to reappear in court on August 30th, 2021. Wow. Sad. Caller, good night.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Mr. Saeed.
Yes, sir.
Have a serious business going on in Savanetta by the bulldozing down people's house in this kind of town, boy.
Say over what you just said?
The bulldozing down squatters' house in this kind of time, and no people is discussing sometimes on government land.
Wait. So there's a bulldozer presently bulldozing people's houses?
Yes, Savanetta, you are.
And where is this taking place?
Savanetta.
Savanetta?
Yeah.
Wow. No heart, boy.
Inside by the fire station.
Yeah.
Inside.
My friend, thank you so much for highlighting it.
Look at this time, man.
This is, wow, that hard, boy. Thank you so much.
Everything in your house mashing up. You want to move nothing, and they're just resting with police and army and all kind of things. This is
Army go on to bulldoze down people's house too?
yeah.
Woody jail.
Look right now in Tobago. They pay people for the want to extend the airport.
True.
You understand? People private property.
Right.
That is wrong. Look at the time we're living in.
Yes. It's sad in a time like this.
You understand? Who has going and who are not still going.
Thank you for highlighting it, my friend. A prison officer with 10 years service is now assistant police officers after he was found to be in possession of contraband when he reported for duty. On Wednesday, at around 12:55 p.m., a prison officer who is attached to the Carrera prison was searched during a random exercise, or he was caught unexpected. A quantity of plant-like material, loose cigarette, and packets of wrapping paper hidden in juice cans, together with packets of cigarette and undisclosed sum of cash. Disposable shavers, a phone, 2 chargers were also found on his person. The officer was cautioned, then he was in breach of regulations. Wow. The police were contacted and the responding police officers escorted him to the police station where he was assisting with inquiries. He was caught unexpectedly on a random exercise. Caller, good night.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
The main problem here in this country is quite a lot of people is afraid and hesitant to take the Sinopharm vaccine. It is just as simple as that.
We understand
probably
that.
They had another choice, probably people might have go for it.
True.
But however, I want to say something. I have taken my 2 shots. Not Sinopharm though. I want to put it like this. If you have a house and it's not burglar proof, it is easy for the robbers or the bandits to come in.
True.
Right. If your house is burglar proof, they could still get in, but you're making it a little more difficult. All right?
I'm listening.
So, the vaccine is a similar situation. All the best. Have a great evening.
I understand where you're coming from. That is logic. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. An Operation Strike Back 3 exercise conducted in Maloney yesterday resulted in the arrest of 12 men and the seizure of 1 firearm and a quantity of ammunition and drugs. 1 AR rifle, a PMAG D6 drum magazine, 48 rounds of 5.56 ammunition and 5 kilograms of marijuana was seized during an execution of 7 search warrants in the area. 3 men were arrested in connection with the find. Inquiries are continuing. Additional arrests during the exercise included that of a 28-year-old man from Maloney Gardens for possession of 6 rounds of ammunition. He is also assisting police in relation to a report of wounding that occurred earlier this year. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Okay, so considering the 82,000 plus AstraZeneca vaccines that came from Canada.
From Canada, yes.
It was donated, right?
Yes, yes.
So what is the bilateral agreement about?
Good question.
I think we as citizens are entitled,
yes.
just as the government of ministers are entitled, I think we are entitled to an explanation as to what the bilateral agreement is and what we have to do in return. Another thing is, right now it has flood in Penal.
Still?
Yes, there's flood right now in Penal.
What part of Penal? Do you have an idea?
A Rock Road.
Rock Road in Penal, okay.
And Solomon Street.
Wow. There have to be real water in that area, boy.
Right? Now, what I am asking is, just as North had flood, and we saw relief went there in like a snap.
Yes.
What happened to this side of the Caridi River?
I understand what you're saying.
Right? One more thing, Mr. Ali. The AstraZeneca vaccine, right?
Yes.
We are hearing so much about the Sinopharm.
Yes.
Right? And we're hearing so much about the AstraZeneca. Are we not able to get no other type of vaccine in this country? We want to follow fashion, everything that is going on overseas. What's going on in the U.S., what's going on all over. You saw what's happening in Grenada?
Yes.
Where they beat the prime minister of that country during a riot protest.
I saw it, yes.
Right? We have to open our eyes, look at what is happening outside in order to make our decisions here.
Yes.
First, frontline workers working in private hospitals should be vaccinated if they are going to be facing
Lives,
sick
yes.
people. That is only fair. You want to keep your job, do the right thing.
Yes, I understand.
You don't want to expose yourself and your family. It comes just like if you're a nurse or a healthcare worker.
Now, I want you to understand something. Yes, they are in the healthcare. Yes, they should be vaccinated. But they are also seeing what we are seeing local and international also.
I understand that too, Mr. Ali. And you
Yes.
know what? I'm kind of weighing the fors and against. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. So you see, just how some of our citizens are choosing not to vaccinate it because what they are seeing and hearing. Now, you can't blame the nurses and the doctors, you know. You can't. Yes, they are frontline workers, but they are also seeing what we are seeing locally and internationally. And what guarantee do we have? What guarantee do we have? Everything they're signing an agreement privately, a non-disclosure. Non-disclosure. Caller, good night.
Oh, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Okay, so what did the lady, this is in connection with the Canadian woman who called in.
Yes.
All she has to do is go to the Canadian embassy and they will give her the appropriate vaccine. They will even arrange for a flight back to Canada during the COVID.
Thank you so much for the information, my dear.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. So you see, viewers, you see how viewers information has come one time? 5 minutes. So viewers, I want to encourage you tonight. Yes, the COVID-19 is real. You have a choice to take the vaccine or not. And I want the Minister of Health and his medical team to understand also. I want them to understand also. You see, I will tell you something. COVID-19 is around the world. The virus is around the world. There are different strains of the virus. But you see, when you hear you want to tell citizens one thing and citizens seeing another thing, it's a different story. I am telling you, it's a different story. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
My friend, go right ahead.
This vaccine figure number 2. Thing I want to talk about. That's what happened in North. Them
Yes.
people build a house on the banks, boy, or is that swamp area too?
I feel that was a lagoon area, my friend.
Right. So it's only one part of Trinidad lagoon. They flooded out and things like that. Now the other thing, if they were smart, they were going to take back that helicopter and fly around and quickly assess the area, you know. But they are no brains. The other thing I want to talk about is Bharat giving them people food boxes who get flooded out. I want to know who looking after them. I want to know who looking after the 1,100 people who died. All the poor people, he giving them food boxes too. And they have family thing too. So something had to be wrong with the thinking of the ministers and them. The other thing I want to talk about is we failing. We on the road to 2000. The healthcare system is failing. I want to ask a question to them fellas. If you're doing the same thing the same way, you get the same results, you get more debt. I want to know if they're rationing healthcare. Because in North America, in Louisiana and them places, they say that's a ration healthcare because they're overwhelmed. The Delta variant is coming. It's definitely coming because them fellas can't lock down the border. You understand now? The AstraZeneca, what they say, they're saying some sort of agreement, bilateral agreement. Okay, read what the ambassador, what they call it, the Trade High Commissioner from Canada say. First thing she said, they have excess.
Yes.
If you have excess, you could give it away. Second thing she said, they don't want to waste because the whole world needs vaccine. The third thing she said, they're giving it to people who in dire need. Trinidad is in dire need. You know why? Because we mismanage the government. That's why we vaccine last. And the fourth thing is, They have 100,000 citizens in Canada who have relationship in Trinidad. So if they want those relatives to go to there, they want them to be vaccinated with AstraZeneca, not with Sinopharm. And Canada Farm, you know, the apple pickers and then a large contingents come out of Trinidad. You can't vaccinate them with Sinopharm.
Yes.
You understand? So that bilateral agreement, those are the hidden things. And you're right in the sense of teachers being vaccinated in the education system. It's not the children, it's the teachers. Because some of the teachers still ain't get, and if they want to clean up the system and to protect the children, the teachers have to get it right away. And the AstraZeneca should go to them, because a lot of the teachers are hesitant at taking it, you know, because they're not selling it good. Because they have the rotation policy man with Javelin Thomas. We come last in the Javelin again, He doing all kind of thing. He messing up the healthcare system with the terrible. And I say we're on the road to 2,000, 40 in 5 days of this week already. 5 days in August, we have 40 deaths. An average of 8 are coming in the skin. So we must be trembling. We have to keep the Delta variant out. And I don't think Pomsise Rasta, nor the minister of Terrence Table have the solution for that. They can't control that. Go and have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, I'm hearing a little talk about the pepper spray legislated. If the pepper spray have been legislated, let me tell you something. That is another one that Real Talk with Saieed Ali have pushed for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I have a little note, but I can't share it yet. I want to make sure that certain things, that I have all my facts straight now. But a little birdie told me that the pepper spray have been legislated. You know what that is? That is our next one for Real Talk with Saieed. So viewers, we probably have about 2 or 3 minutes left on the show tonight. I just want to remind you, you have your money savings in a financial institute, but you're not getting a proper return. You need more growth on your income. You need more growth on your investment. So what I can tell you is contact me at 238-6716 or 339-1670 to set up a Real Talk investment. Presently, we are paying between 3% to 3.5% on your Real Talk investment. And we are paying the highest percentage in Trinidad and Tobago presently. We're beating back all the banks and all the credit unions. So viewers, you want to see a big reward on your investment? Contact me. 339-1670 or 238-6716. Let me tell you something. Real Talk, a group of companies, will be one of the biggest depositing center in Trinidad and Tobago. Mark my word. So tomorrow I want to give you a little more update on the pepper spray legislation. A little birdie whispered to me yesterday, well, last night in fact, coming to wee hours of the morning. Pepper spray have been legislated. A little birdie told me that. I don't want to confirm it yet, but a little birdie told me that. So viewers, until we meet again, I'm Saieed Ali. You are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Today it's Thursday night. Friday night is our relationship segment. Tune in, Synergy TV, 7 to 8 p.m., where you would have a discussion with me. So be safe, enjoy the night, mask up when you're outside, hand sanitize when you're outside. To my friends and family, good night.